Welcome to this week's episode of Go Peace Country. Today we're hanging out at a notable place in Fort St. John, the Child Development Center. We're here to celebrate a milestone with them and find out a bit about the history that the CDC has had over the years. All that and more on this week's episode of Go Peace Country. I am here with Penny Gagner, and she's the Executive Director at the CDC, the Child Development Center. Now, how long have you actually been in this role?
I have been involved with the Child Development Center for almost 8 years now. So I've been in the community of Fort St. John for almost 9. So I'm feeling a little bit homegrown here, and I'm really feeling like this is where my roots are planted right now.
Absolutely. When I think of the Child Development Center, I always think of Penny. And what is it that keeps you here and keeps you motivated and driven?
You know, the Child Development Center is just a really great place to come every day. So, you know, we get to walk into the building to, you know, 100 kids coming to preschool. The staff, the team, the families, and, you know, probably the biggest thing is watching children sort of progress and meet their developmental milestones when they have been presented with challenges, you know, at birth or early in their lives, and just seeing how families really work together with the therapies and the other programs for the best outcome for the children and the community. And the CDC has changed in the last 8 years that I have been here, and it actually is humbling to be part of an organization that has grown so much over the past 40 years. And I think about all the people who have been involved with the Child Development Center. You know, our own counselor, Larry Evans, was involved with the CDC right from day one.
Coming up, we'll meet with board member Larry Evans as he shares with us his relationship with the CDC. But first, let's meet local photographer Ashley Vincent. Welcome back to the CDC. I'm joined by Larry Evans, and he was one of the people that Penny noted that you've been around and involved for so long. How did you start with the CDC? What's your history?
In 1978, the Fire Chief of Taylor, George Barber, was involved with the Child Development Center. They were looking for board members, and I had no idea what that entailed, but I said sure. So we wound up on the board. We started on the corner here before all this was here in an old church. That's the parish had moved out into a newer church, and they gave us this one, and that was the start of the actual CDC building.
It seems like the community really comes together from everyone in Mass when it comes to the CDC. It's about the kids in the community. It's kids with special needs and typical needs. Your children came through here, and now your adorable grandchildren. How you met Mr. Linden? Tell me a little bit about how it's helped your family and some of your friends.
When we first started, it was just special needs children. And then as we enlarged, we became a sort of not a daycare, but a preschool kind of, and we integrated everything, and that worked well for a lot of children. They could, you know, children could come in and see other children in wheelchairs and that, and understand, you know, get the whole idea of what was going on. And I think that helped my children quite a bit too, to understand that there were other people in the world that maybe weren't as well off as they were. Fort St. John has lots of jewels, and I love Fort St. John, and this is one of the jewels within Fort St. John.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's a jewel of Fort St. John. I think that's perfect. We're going to have to put that in quotations. We're actually going to take another quick break from the Child Development Center and see our next story on Go Peace Country. We are still at the CDC, and I'm joined by Crystal. I'm curious a little bit about yourself and the role that you play here.
I'm in the Special Services Program, so I work with children from birth to 19 who have a diagnosed special need.
What are some of the things that you get to see them progress and learn and grow basically while they're here?
Well, in our program, the children work on a variety of different skills. So we will work on, say, money skills, street safety in the community, cooking skills. So I'd say anything big or small, it's so awesome to see them gain in that area. So the Rotary Play Center is a program for children from birth to 5 with a focus on birth to 3, I believe. And it's like a Strong Start program that you would see in elementary schools, but this one more caters to the younger age group.
And they have lots of fun in there.
They do, yeah. It's a free drop-in program for families, and it's usually quite busy. This is our hydrotherapy pool, and it's used by our therapy programs to work on a variety of different programs with the children.
And kids love being in the water, right?
Oh, of course. It's heated. It's so nice in there. So this is our skills kitchen. This is the program for children from birth to 19 who are accessing respite or skills enhancement services. So these are the activities that the children do in our special services program from September to June. So this is just some pictures that they've taken of some of the things that they did.
So when it comes to the CDC, have you always, Naomi's your first daughter, right? Have you known about it before she was born, or how were you introduced to it, I guess?
Actually, I guess different family members have used the services long before I ever had kids, so I already knew about some of it prior to that. She had a difficult birth, and once she hit about 1, we noticed that she was slowing down in some of her motor skills and speech, and some other concerns came up, so our family doctor referred us, and I guess we've been coming just about for a year now, and we have the speech therapy, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, and so we come and check in with all the therapists, and it's been amazing.
Up next on Go Peace Country, we will see what our mini chefs have in store for us. And last but not least, Dr. Moody shares with us who really gets the credit for starting the CDC.
I have a great board of directors. Dr. Moody is our medical director and has been with us for over 30 years, and he has just been such an inspiration and a great support.
The centre was started back in 1973, I think, by a group of very dedicated parents. They saw a need in the community, weren't prepared to accept the fact that it didn't exist in a northern community like Fort St. John, and with true northern spirit decided if we don't have it, let's create it. And I think we all owe a huge debt to those original parents who are activists in getting the CDC developed. And of course, over the last 40 years, the support it's had from the community is overwhelming. And in my long years sitting on the board at the Child Development Centre, I've seen some very committed volunteers spend a lot of their time making sure that the CDC provided an extremely high level of care to the children of our community.
Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Go Peace Country. Thanks to Penny, Larry, and everyone who hosted us here at the Child Development Center and sharing with us the history that has enriched Fort St. John. Now, if you've missed any past stories on our program here, Go Peace Country, go to our website. It's shawtv.ca. If you have any upcoming events in our community or know anybody notable that we should feature on Shaw TV, please get in touch with us. For Go Peace Country, I'm Emily Moyes.